Hello everybody and welcome back to Imperator, where last episode we finished up our war against Macedon. We took some territory up here, not as much as I would have liked to take, but it was a decent chunk of territory. We now control all the way from sea to sea here, which is nice. And we also won our war against Carthage. I still don't know why they declared on us. It was not a good idea. We currently have our roads being built, and that'll take a while, particularly up over here. We also queued up, as you can see, a few farming settlements, and that is excellent. So we're going to need to let our aggressive expansion drop, and that of course means that we can come down here and be working on some cities, and that is absolutely wonderful. Now, we do have a city down here, which is already somewhat set up. We can get a Freeman district here, and then this would be a tax office. Okay, and then we're pretty much just making our way down this direction, I think. We pretty much got everything done over here that we're going to get, right? Yeah, I mean, we're just heading down this way at this point. So that seems wonderful. We make myrrh here, huh? I'm okay with this being a research city, and we can then put in a trio of noble districts. We can get rid of this forum. Do we need this port? Honestly, no. I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to put in city district, or rather citizen districts. We're going to put in courts of law and academies, and that'll fill that out for now. This guy became lazy. Okay, sure, whatever. I guess that's fine. So we've got a city here, and we also have a city off over this way. That's absolutely wonderful. Also myrrh here. Remarkable. Okay, let's get noble districts in, and citizen districts, and court of law, and a pair of academies, and that'll get us where we need to be. So this is also myrrh. I feel like this is too many research cities. I'm gonna make one more, but I'm not necessarily the happiest about it. Barbarians? Okay, we'll deal with that in just a moment, but I want to get this city done first. There we go. Okay, where are these barbarians at? They're up over here. I'm just going to hire these mercs, and we'll put them onto unit reorg, and we'll just come over this direction. This'll be fine. Okay, there we go. So by the time we get there, hopefully we'll have a month tick. That'll be good. So we would currently lose this. That's going to be on 28 October. So we need to chill here until the battle will end. Or until the battle will be next month. We did get a bunch of gold. That's nice. Okay. Now it'll definitely happen on 7 November. Cool. So we'll take them off of unit reorg, and let's see how this goes. We kind of need to roll reasonably well. We did, but so did they. I don't know that they have the numbers to pull this off, though. No, they don't. So we're just going to easily defeat them. Perfect. We'll get rid of these mercs. This will auto-cap itself back. So that looks good. Excellent. So we do have about 2,000 gold, and that of course means that we can come down this way and continue to develop cities. So this also produces myrrh. Okay. Well, we'll get rid of all of this for now, and I guess we're making research cities. This is the last research city I'm going to make for a while. I think that's probably going to not be great to have this many research cities coming in down here. So this produces gemstones. We are absolutely going to get rid of the library here. The forums are okay. I feel like we should have a port down here, so this is probably an okay place to put that. And we'll put in our mills here. Of course, we don't want to spend too much money because that will stop our road building from being road built. That wouldn't be great, so we're just waiting for the month tick here. There we go. Autosave, of course, going through. And then 3 slave traders. And we can also afford to get 3 taverns here. But before we build anything else, we're going to have to wait for a month tick. That's fine. We are going to drop down below 50 aggressive expansion eventually. But right now, we definitely aren't going to do that for a bit. Okay, we can grab a forum here, and then it would be a Freeman district, and then we can afford a second Freeman district. That does finish up Moseley. Okay, excellent. We are very, very close right now to getting all of Africa completed, at least on this first pass. Okay, martial advance, that's cool. Checking in on this status, still being worked on. Checking in on this status, still being worked on. Excellent. Okay, so next up, we want to grab probably army movement speed plus 5%. That'll be a very, very useful thing for us. And then quick march will be very good too. Legion maintenance cost reduction. Yeah, that'll be wonderful. Everything here is good. So we're going to be getting all of that eventually. Now, we do have some provinces that are going to rebel eventually. This province has no food, apparently. Okay. We don't have any import routes. We might want to get one. So we would probably definitely want to do that, actually. Yeah, we'll get that going. That'll be fine. And then the other province is this one over here. Minus 0.17. We could maybe get that up with harsh treatment. Yeah, that's fine. So it would just be Milius up here then. Now that's going down by 0.54 each month, and actually it's going up. Never mind. Food is positive now, just barely, but food is positive. So for the time being, that seems okay. This is a little bit awkward, this territory. We only have these 2 locations. So yeah, that's not great. And we produce glass here, and we produce cedar. We might need to put in like a farmer's market or something. Okay. Well, we do have 1427 gold, so let's head back down over this direction and get this city upgrading. We produce incense here. I am not going to make this be another research city. We're going to put in a foundry. We're going to put in mills. This is just the way it's going to be. Now, do we need a port here? It's right next to another port, so I'm going to say no. Healthy population. Ooh. Yeah, we do like population growth. So that looks great, and then we can get ourselves 3 forums here. We can afford 2 right now. Actually, we can afford the 3rd, so we'll get that done. Beautiful. Okay, now we need to do this city here. There's a city up here, a city here, and a city here. And then we'll be done with this pass in Africa. So that is absolutely magnificent. Once again, we produce spices here. This would be a decent research city, but we're not going to make it be a research city. We don't need 2 levels of port here. In fact, I don't even think we need 1. So I'm going to get rid of that. And we're going to put in a foundry. And in go the mills. Beautiful. So we do have a lot of disloyal provinces. This isn't shocking. And these farming settlements, they're going to finish eventually. In fact, sooner rather than later. That looks pretty good, actually. Let's get some slave traders in here. And then we're just waiting on the next month tick here to get some taverns. Our income is going to go up a lot when we stop doing this road build. We're not doing road build very efficiently. And this up over here just finished up with its trade route. So we are definitely going to be importing grain here. Just to make sure we've got food. So that seems good for now. Now back down over this direction, I do want to get these taverns in, which will be right about now. Perfect. And then a pair of forums, which we are going to need to wait for a month tick for, it looks like. Okay, sure. That seems absolutely fine. We are seeing tremendous development of our cities right now, and all we need is population in those cities, and our treasury is going to be absurd. It's already kind of absurd, to be honest. We can get a pair of forums here, and then we can look at this city. Myrrh again. Okay. Well, this is already kind of halfway set up to be a... I'm just thinking about that level of port here. This is where we built our Hexiers, but we probably want to do this elsewhere. So I'm going to get rid of the port over here for now. There's a true ocean out over here. We don't want to sail here if we can help it. So we'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of this commercial district, and we'll put in the foundry. And we'll put in some mills. We are going to have a rebellion in Kargana in 60 months. Okay, what's going on in Kargana? Just low loyalty. Problem solved. Okay, so we're back over to harsh treatment. It's not, you know, ideal, but it'll do for now. It'll buy us time, which is what we really need there. So we can get a pair of slave traders here, and then on this next month tick, which is right now, we can get a trio of taverns. Blighted crops? That's very rude. We should probably perform a divine sacrifice right now. That'll offset some of our aggressive expansion, although not all of it by any means. But we'll get to work on that. That looks wonderful. And then, of course, we can put in a forum here. And then we can do a second forum. And then we can do a Freeman district. And that's all we can do there for now. Then we've got this city down here. Once again, it produces spices. This thing is kind of all over the place. I'm going to get rid of this shrine. That shouldn't be necessary. These 3 levels of port, we don't want to be going here. This is also true ocean. We can get rid of the commercial district. And then we have to make a choice. I'm going to make this be a research city. So we're going to get rid of the tavern, get rid of the slave trader. We're going to get rid... Actually, we're going to keep the aqueduct. We need it for the population capacity. We can get rid of the Freeman district, though. And then we can put in... I do want to get rid of that farmer's market as well, although that might give us some food problems. I think we'll be okay. We'll get a pair of noble districts here, and then we'll get some citizen districts going in. Then we're going to need courts of law. And then we need gold before we can get these academies going. There we go. We'll get 2 academies in here. And then we can put in a bunch of libraries, would be the idea. A minor addendum, huh? 6 stability for 10 political influence. Do it. That's wonderful. We can also call down an omen, which we are delighted to do. We're going to call down Esther as usual. We have so many pops to convert, and the pop happiness is a big deal right now. So let's get ourselves a bunch of libraries in here. There we go. And then we can pop up over to Socotra, and let's see what we've got going on here. Spices. We're already set up for this to be kind of a slave location. So we can get rid of the citizen district, get rid of the noble district, get rid of the commercial district. We should have at least 1 level of port here. I don't think we need the forts, though. We can get rid of the academy, for sure. And then the other buildings here, I think, well, I don't want to have the shipyard. Let's get rid of that. And then let's start putting in mills. We just want to produce more spices, I think. Okay, so slave traders are going to go in here, and then taverns. And then beyond that, we're going to need forums. We do need some gold for that. It looks like we finished up all of those rural constructions, so that looks magnificent. Okay, so next up, of course, we are going to put in another forum, and we're going to put in a pair of Freeman districts. Beyond that, tax offices are going to be the idea here. Okay, so this is the final location in Africa. We need 3 tax offices. We'll have that on this month tick. There we go. And that should be all of our African holdings over here dealt with, but not necessarily our newly conquered holdings out here, right? So that is definitely something that we are going to look into. Here we have a villa estate. I'm going to get rid of that, and we're going to put in a fortress here as a bulwark against Carthage performing more shenanigans. We have this settlement here, which is a fortress, which seems pretty good. And then we've got this up here, which we can definitely delete the fortresses up this way. They're no longer necessary since we conquered up to the choke point. And that, of course, means that we can get rid of the fortresses down here as well. So that's excellent. That, of course, means in Siwa that we can put in a pair of forums. Looks great. And potentially we can get... Nope, no mines or farming settlements. Okay. So we've got Menelaus over here. This produces papyrus. It's already set up somewhat to be a slave city. We can get rid of the port here. I don't think it's strictly speaking necessary. And then we can put in some taverns and some forums, as well as a Freeman district. There we go. So that looks good. And then out over here, we've just got the 1 city, which is here. We've already got a foundry there. It produces dates. That seems absolutely fine. So we can do that. The Grand Theater, I think, is useful, as is the Great Temple. These are not very converted because we just conquered it. So that looks good. I don't think we need the aqueduct. We should not need the citizen district or the court of law here. So we can do something kind of like that for right now. Cool. We can get a military tradition, and we are going to do so. This is our final military tradition that we can get. It is not a particularly useful one, but we will get it nevertheless. Any colonizable provinces? No, but we did get an oratory advance. And that, of course, is going to give us access to force march, as well as 5% more additional army movement speed. So that seems absolutely excellent. Now, these guys are idle. They have finished up their road construction here. So I'm going to take them off of road build, and we're going to take them all the way back to Jerusalem. And they are going to go there and start drilling. How are we doing up here? This road construction is actually very close to done as well. That looks very, very good. Cool. So next up, we're going to go for, like, this city up here, right? This produces olives. Sure. We don't need the aqueduct. We don't need a port. Although we should build a shipbuilding location. That's something that I'm thinking about right now, and we'll get there. I want to put in a foundry here. I want to put in mills, for sure. And then we can put in a slave trader. And this guy died. Okay, he was one of our researchers, so we need a new religious researcher. This guy will do. Beautiful. Okay, now back to what we were working on here. We need a couple of taverns here. There we go. Now, there's a city here. It produces leather. That seems fine. We'll put in a foundry there. We can get rid of a lot of this stuff here. A lot of this is not necessary. So we can get rid of this court of law. We can get rid of the noble district. And then we can build ourselves 3 mills, 2 slave traders, waiting for the month tick here. But we can only build 2 taverns. So there we go. That looks good. Now, this location here. Once again, olives. Okay. So a foundry seems fine, and then we can get rid of the port. And we can get rid of a number of these structures, actually. Yeah, something along the lines of that. So then we'll put in the mills, we'll put in the slave trader, we'll put in the taverns, and that is now full. Beautiful. So now we've got these cities out over here. We've got a couple of them. So, like 3. Yeah, we've got 3 cities here. So we've got an earthworks here. I'm going to get rid of that. Going to get rid of the library. I might keep this port. Macedon gaining opinion of us. Okay. You know what? That's fine. They'll get converted back eventually. Cool. So let's get some mills going here. And let's grab some slave traders. We're going to need a little bit more gold. There we go. And then we're going to get these caverns going. We do have a martial perk available. So shipbuilding cost reduction sounds great. That's the only actual option. So we're full here. That's correct. And we need to grab ourselves our mills here, right? This library can go. 3 mills here. Looks good. There we go. And then a couple of slave traders down this direction. Not a lot of building slots here, but we'll get there. Just waiting on the gold. There we go. Excellent. So now this should be the last city that we need to work on here. So we've got a shipyard here. I'm going to get rid of that. The Grand Theater and the Great Temple are useful. We don't have much conversion here yet. We can get rid of this port for the time being, and this noble district is not necessary. We can put in a trio of mines. Yes, this guy's welcome. Okay. And then we would put in our slave traders, like that. And that puts us at 12 of 12. Okay. Beautiful. Are you guys done? They are. We're going to take them off of road build, and we're going to move them. Actually, they're going to move up to, like, up over this way. We don't want them in the same location because of food constraints. Not unit reorg, drill. There you go. Beautiful. So that seems absolutely magnificent. At this point, most of our locations are pretty set up and just require occasional maintenance like this, where we just need to put in, you know, a tax office here. This is good to go. Here and there, that's going to be things, right? But I want to take one of these cities, say this one. And I'd like to, actually, I want to change that to being this city. I'm going to rework this city a little bit. We're going to put in a shipyard. And we're also going to bring this up to a level 6 port. So that means that we're going to need to remove these tax offices. And we're going to put in maximum numbers of port. There we go. So I just want this to be our primary shipbuilding location. You guys can get to drilling. That looks good. And we can go grab our navy. Where's our navy? Disloyal. Okay, wonderful. We're going to bribe this guy, and we're going to take our navy back down to here. Excellent. So there are still going to be some locations up over here where we haven't fully developed our cities yet. That's absolutely understood. We would start, like, probably here or so. And just work our way northward would be the idea. So this is definitely an undeveloped city. We can build a couple of mills here. This port is not necessary, strictly speaking. And we would then put in some slave traders. We put in some taverns. And then a couple of forums, for sure. Who is this? He is a king of Dur. Now, that could be useful, actually. Dur is our vassal, so that sounds absolutely fine. Cool. So we're just waiting on more gold coming in and having our aggressive expansion drop, of course. Ooh, a bountiful harvest. That's nice. We're going to limit the drop in price, and we're going to take the 3,000 gold. That will allow us to invest much more quickly up through this area without having to wait for gold. Pearls, huh? Okay. We definitely want to get rid of a bunch of these structures and get some mills going in here. There we go. And then beyond that, tax offices. Cool. Veterans are moving on. Okay, sounds great. Next up, we'd have this location, which this is already pretty set up. It's also disloyal. So these are not areas we can actually work on as of right now. This, however, we absolutely could. So let's get going on that nice and quick here. Perfect. Then I'd like to come down this direction. We do have cities up here. Okay, noted. Okay, so we're just working like south to north, right? But there's a lot of territory out over this way that we could get lost in. I'm thinking about how we want to actually do this pathing-wise. That'll be interesting. Well, this province is too low to actually do anyway, so for now, we can't really do that. This is already somewhat set up. We can get a pair of taverns in there. That looks good. What else do we have down this direction? Well, we've got this province next. There's a civic advance, and we could definitely grab delayed baggage train. Perfect. And then we've got this city here, which should, I think, already be set up. Yeah, that's pretty well set up. We'll get that going. Down this direction, I think we already managed a fair amount of this stuff. So this should just be very, very minor maintenance down this way. Excellent. This is a research city? Sure. Okay, so there's that all done. And then we would come up this direction, right? And this is already reasonably set up as well, but this is disloyal. So that's not going to be an option. Out over this direction, disloyal. And then up here, disloyal. Okay, we lost a commander. Sure. We're going to need a new one of those, definitely. We're trying to drill. So we're going to recruit in, say, this guy. And there we go. Skill 10, and you can absolutely be drilling. There you go. Okay, back over here, disloyal here. This is disloyal. This is disloyal. This is disloyal. So a lot of this we can't work on, but this up here we absolutely could. So we can certainly, well, we produce base metals. There's no question about what we want to put in here. Okay, so that's done. And then this produces hemp. Okay, we currently already have a great temple and 2 forums. That's fine. Tutor needed. I don't care, really. Do what you gotta do. Okay, we're going to put in a mill here as soon as we've got the gold. So we're just trying to get this area here dealt with, would be the idea. But there's a lot of cities out over here still. So that is fine. So let's get ourselves a couple of slave traders. We need one more to get this city finished up, sadly. We'll get there. Just waiting on that month tick. There we go. Okay, next city would be like this one. Sure, there's 2 cities out over here. I'm actually going to skip that for now. We can come down this direction. This one's already somewhat set up, so we can put in just a tavern there. Here, no, that's not going to be a thing. Okay, here we would put in a tax office. Actually, no, we wouldn't. We would put in a Freeman district. Out over this direction, already set up. Beautiful. A couple of Freeman districts, or rather, a couple of forums and a Freeman district. This is disloyal, as it was before. This is already relatively worked on. I would like to get rid of the fort that is currently here. That city is not very worked on. Noted. Okay, well, let's just put in our 2 forums here and our Freeman district. There we go. And then we come down over this way, right? So this is 2 disloyal here. This city is not worked on as of yet. It produces spices and is already semi-set up to be a research city. I guess we can get going on that. Seems reasonably fine. But we're pretty close to making our way over here, and then we'll make our way through these areas. And at that point, we can call our cities, our first pass on our cities, reasonably done. They're going to need more work beyond this, but this is our major expenditure outlay. We're not going to need too much more. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue to work on these cities and let our aggressive expansion drop right on off. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Atala, Andy Magar, Ali Lee, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Hiro Marutsu, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.